time frame. We are in a little bit of delay, so please check the chat box for the answers. And I would like to give the floor to Soren Kostri for the session 3 for new pathways for teaching mobility.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everybody. We are going to start with a little delay, the last section, which is dedicated to new pathways for teaching mobility. And I think that's a very important topic, since teaching is one of our main tasks besides research and social implication. And mobility, well, is maybe the most difficult challenge in this current context. So the topic is very important and very actual. But before starting effectively, I would like to thank to our hosts, namely it's President Luciano Sasso and our wonderful UNICA team, and Imre Hamar, Professor Hamar, which is the Vice Rector of our university host, namely Edward Laurent University. So thank you for having this wonderful meeting. Now, in terms of what would be, we have divided this following hour into 3 sections. First, we'll have a presentation of Ignacio about the future of teaching mobility. After that, we'll have a discussion around 30-35 minutes between the participants, and at the end, hopefully we'll have left like 15 minutes for questions and answers. So we are going to begin with Professor Ignacio Alvarez Rodriguez from University of Alcalá. So Ignacio, you have the floor.
Good morning. Thank you very much for the kind introduction, and to the conveners of the conference for all the work they have been doing these past weeks to prepare this conference. I'm just going to share my presentation. Could you see it?
Yes.
Oh, fantastic. As we are a little bit behind schedule, as my colleague Kata has mentioned, my presentation today is going to be very brief. In a certain way, what I'm going to do is just to pitch the discussion that is going to take place in a few minutes. I must confess that the presentation I have prepared is rather different to the one I'm going to share with you today, and it's due to the publication yesterday of 3 important documents by the European Commission, as you know, and they have been announced this morning by the representatives of the European Commission. The European Research Area, firstly, secondly, the European Education Area, and thirdly, and connected to both, the Digital Education Action Plan. Why I've changed it? Because those documents are the perfect springboard to talk about the new pathways for teaching mobility. Today we have heard a lot about teaching mobility has been in the past Erasmus Plus program from 2014 to 2020, the year where we are. And we heard also that for the future program, teachers are going to play a very important role. The representative of the European Commission also mentioned that the numbers of teaching mobility during the last program, during the current program, I would say, have been stable. And he has asked himself about if there is more room for teaching mobilities. He also mentioned that most of the mobilities in Europe for teaching purposes are going to Spain, which I must confess is a very nice country, though I'm not going to analyze if that is connected directly to quality mobility, quality teaching mobility, or to other reasons. But what I really want to highlight is that most of the discussions have been about recognition. Why? Because if a teacher in Europe goes to the webpage of the Erasmus Plus program, will see this. That Erasmus Plus supports teaching periods at the higher education institutions abroad. If you work in higher education, you can spend time teaching at an institution in an Erasmus Plus program or partner country. It's a message direct to the teacher. It's a message direct to the opportunities he or she are thinking to enrich their curricula and then boost their academic careers. Plus networking and many other activities, including visiting a nice country as Spain. However, the Commission yesterday published the communication in the European education area where they talk a lot that is the aim to ensure innovation in student-centered learning and teaching and more flexible learning pathways. And still, they are telling us the teachers are going to play an important, a vital role on this. That's not new. In the Paris communiqué of the Bologna process, they mentioned that indeed, they have been focused a lot on the structural reforms to ensure and enhance the quality and relevance of learning and teaching. We may talk about credits, ECTS, the 3 cycles, and so on and so forth. And they said in 2018 that now was time to add cooperation and innovative learning and teaching practices as another hallmark. But still, in the Commission in the paper published, in the communication published yesterday, when talking about the added value of mobility, they insisted in the student mobility. Of course, this morning we heard about the data, the 190,000 mobilities during the last Erasmus Plus period. And still we have the question, is there any room for more? Well, actually there is, but we need to fill a singular missing link, which is the quality teaching mobility and how it could help participate and work in what the Commission, the European Commission, is thinking for the future European European education area. What you have in the slides is simply small snapshots from the Commission, the paper of the Commission. So we may think that the future or the current state of teaching mobility is an unfinished business. It's a business where we have to talk a lot about recognition for the individual careers, that ensuring opportunities for a much wider variety of participants in mobility programs means to ensure a framework that we are missing nowadays. What means that but it's not only that. We have to encourage mobility also for other reasons. Let me use the words of the platform that Jerome and Aniko and Krista has showed to you. We have divided people involved in the future involved in programs of teaching mobility between seekers, hunters, and hosts. And we need to be focused not only on the motivation of the seekers, motivation, what means what we have talked this morning about recognition of that mobility. But we need to find a motivation, and the hunter also will have the same sort of motivation, but we need to clarify what is the motivation of the host. How teaching mobility may help ensuring that innovation in student-centered learning and teaching. What is the place of teaching mobilities in the future policy framework for transnational cooperation that the Commission has in mind? And how we can better structure teaching mobility schemes, and which would be the role to become an integral part of what the Commission has called the co-creation of a transformation agenda for higher education by 2021. So, one opportunity ahead, in a nutshell, teaching mobility as an essential element of an ideal curriculum design. If we need seekers, hunters, hosts together, not only in the platform will be the channel of that information. We need to clarify, absolutely clear, the motivation for the seeker, the hunter, and the host, and the added value of going to Spain on a teaching mobility. Just to conclude, our colleagues that I'm giving now the floor, They will talk about the point of departure to answer these questions or to give the Commission some ideas in this co-creation process. Why higher education transformation always need to start with higher education institutions first? Because we are directly involved, because we are the seekers, the hunters, and the hosts. So, the three questions that are going to answer or try to answer from the experience of the universities, our colleagues, are those that you see in this last slide. I will be very happy to get their insights because this, as I said, is an unfinished business. Thank you very much.